Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. The entire world is on edge. Nations are in uproar. People are angry. And war is being prepared all over the earth. Okay? And we're going to circle back to this video here, which was sent to me by the beloved Elder Malcolm out of GMS Chicago from this channel, A Homestead Journey, which is entitled Americans Believe Civil War is Coming and Are Quietly Preparing. You see? This is the book of Revelation chapter 6 and verse 7. And it reads, it says, and when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth. All right, the fourth part of the earth represents Esau's realm, Esau's world. Okay, and the Lord is preparing his world for violence and destruction. Okay, great death, right? And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth. All right, Esau's dominion, to kill with the sword and with hunger and with death and with the beast of the earth, right? So like I said, we're going to come back to this video here, right? But I do want to point out what's going on across the seas, right? So again, this is from the newstarget.com. It says Iran protest death toll exceeds 500 amid regime blackout and drone surveillance, right? It says Iran faces its most severe internal crisis in years, with protests challenging the theocratic system. Human rights groups report over 500 protesters killed amid a violent government crackdown. A near total internet blackout has been imposed, obscuring the true scale of casualties and events. The regime uses sophisticated tactics like surveillance drones to monitor and suppress protests. International responses are growing, with the U.S. considering strong options against Iran. All right, so it's going down, man. Okay. Trump says he's canceled meetings with Iran, tells protesters that help is coming. All right. America's about to help the hell out some shit. Right? It's going down, man. Let's get into that.
What I will tell you is that what the Iranian regime is saying publicly is quite different from the messages they are sending to the United States and the Trump administration privately. President Trump, as for him, he has always expressed that diplomacy is the first option, always has been, always will be. And so what President Trump will do next, only he knows, so the world will have to keep waiting and guessing, and we will let him decide.
The White House says that President Trump is weighing his next move as Iran institutes a deadly crackdown on anti-government protesters there. President Trump ramped up pressure on Tehran yesterday, announcing a 25% tariff on goods from any country doing business with Iran. He is expected to be briefed today on more options for a U.S. response, and the region waits to hear. Trey Yingst is there. He has the latest from Tel Aviv. Hi, Trey.
Dana, good morning. New reports indicate at least 3,000 Iranians have been killed amid anti-government demonstrations. The confirmed number is expected to be much higher. Overnight, thousands of people gathered in the streets of major cities once again, including the capital of Tehran. Further south in the city of Isfahan, Fox News was able to make contact with a man who is using Starlink. He described battles between protesters and security forces who are using live ammunition. On the call, he said the government has really repressed them using weapons of war against the demonstrators. At the moment, the situation for the demonstrators in the street, the atmosphere is like a war zone, and some people are trying to escape from it. He goes on to say, I have to emphasize that among Iranian people, Trump is the most popular person right now. He has so much popularity because of the steps that he took toward preventing the growth of terrorism in the Middle East. They respect him. The internet blackout in Iran continues, making it difficult for people to get new information, although international calls were briefly going through overnight. The Americans, Israelis, and Europeans are watching these demonstrations closely, with German Chancellor weighing in today.
If a regime can only keep itself in power by force, then it's effectively at an end. I believe we are now seeing the final days and weeks of this regime. In any case, it has no legitimacy through elections in the population. The population is now rising up against this regime. I hope there is a possibility to end this conflict peacefully.
Amid the crackdown, there is growing fear among protesters. One man in Tehran messaged me overnight saying, "My days are numbered." Dana?
Trey Yings, please keep us posted. Thank you so much.
Yeah, escalation, man. Okay, they were talking about death toll exceeds 500. Here it's saying, I see on the side here, it says report 12,000 dead in Iran, mass killing. So yeah, it's a lot of propaganda going out, man. You know, to push this war with Iran. Okay, so this thing is definitely going. Okay.
On to some big breaking news coming in right this minute. Iran is facing a decisive moment. The signals from Washington, as of now, pointing to a dangerous escalation. It seems the US president, in fact, has just shared on his social media platform. I'm quoting from that statement. "Help is on its way. Iranian patriots, keep protesting. I have cancelled all meetings with Iranian officials until senseless killing of protesters stops." That's the statement on your screen coming in from the US president as of now. In fact, US fighter jets have increased activity at the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, as per the latest, which is located 200 to 300 kilometers away from the border with Iran, and the US government has issued an emergency alert to urge its citizens to leave Iran. And this comes at the back of the US president announcing a 25% tariff on any country doing business with Iran. Trump has repeatedly warned Tehran against the use of force to suppress the ongoing protests. Remember, the death toll from major anti-government protests in Iran reached at least 2,000. US-based human rights activists, in fact, saying that at least 10,721 people have been arrested. Trump has not, as of now, elaborated on what the US is considering in terms of military options, nor on the proposed negotiations, despite saying that a meeting is being set up with the Iranian officials. That's the latest coming in at this point from the US president. Let's go straight across now to Susan Teherani. Susan, what more can you tell us at this point? Of course, a huge statement coming in at a very sensitive time.
Absolutely, and it does appear that President Trump has decided to hold all diplomatic talks and closed-door talks, possibly with the U.S. Then he canceled all meetings with Iranian officials.
Yeah. So anyway, so Trump is saying that that help is on the way. Okay. 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 5, it says, "Behold, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." All right, it's time. All right, that's why I want to get into here. You know, at first, just wanted to show you how, you know, this thing is only intensifying, it's accelerating. All right, the least of the flock should draw them out, as we talked about before. But getting into what's getting ready to go down here in America. All right, Jacob's trouble, civil war, martial law. All right, this is from collapse.news, how to survive civil unrest, essential strategies for staying safe. All right, because the smell of blood is in the air, man. All right, Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, a time of hate, a time of war, all those things, man. All right, let me jump down. It says in an era of heightened political and social tensions, civil unrest has become an increasingly common threat in urban centers worldwide. See that? All over the earth. All right? Tension, distress. Okay? Everybody's on edge. Whether sparked by economic instability, political disputes, or social grievances, protests can rapidly escalate into violent clashes between demonstrators and authorities, between opposing factions within the crowd. For bystanders caught in the chaos, knowing how to navigate such situations can mean the difference between safety and tragedy. All right, and the time is coming where the Lord, you know, He's going to be with us through the midst of all of this chaos and madness. Right? Uproars, man. Okay? This is the book of 2nd Ezra 9. Okay? 2nd Ezra 9 and 1, it says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. When thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. All right? And we're measuring the time diligently within itself. All right? Scripture say that a man of prudence foreseeth the evil, man. Okay? This thing is about to kick down the door. All right? Prophecy. Verse 3. It says, Therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then should thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made in the world, have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. All right? This is the end. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs, right? The uproars, right? As we just read, the definition of uproar says a condition of noisy excitement and confusion, a tumult. It says an impassioned protest or heated controversy, right? Which is going on globally, man. All right? Uproars worldwide. All right? 2nd Ezra 16 said that sorrows would come upon the earth on every side. Great tumult, violent disturbance and noise, noisy confusion, bustle, and clamor. All right? That's part of the uproars. Let's get into it here. All right? People are preparing for civil war.
Things are about to get considerably worse in America.
This is it, guys. This is the tipping point.
We are walking our way right into a state versus federal conflict.
We are at the start of the American Civil War.
This is what it's going to take. It's literally going to be a group of people using their First Amendment right.
With all of the political divide in this country, things are so polarized in terms of opinions, and with the intense situations that continue to happen practically on a daily basis, more and more people are really talking about the potential of civil war in this country. They're going online, they're voicing their opinions and their thoughts, and I find it really interesting that this is kind of trending right now, and I haven't seen this in a while.
Bro, I'm just done. I just want to know when we light the torches and get the pitchforks, because we just need to burn this down and start the over. So, you with me?
It's time to leave the country. 100%. It's time to leave. That rhetoric on Greenland and everything else and Gestapo in the streets, it's time to leave. Because it's either going to be fighting in the streets, a world war, or just straight up authoritarian regime and everybody just doesn't care, or they're too apathetic to care. And I'm not like that. I'm getting my kids the out of here, and I suggest you all do the same. Give your kids a better life.
Let's let that pass. Yeah, hey, everybody sees it coming. You can smell it, man. All right? This shit's about to get nuts. Right?
Get them out of this country.
I'm going to tell you guys what's coming, okay? Because I think we need to be very clear-eyed about what's coming, and it's very obvious. On the second day of this year, I posted a video, and I said that I very strongly feel like 2026 is giving resolution, but through a lot of struggle and strife and very negative stuff. But that it's necessary to get to where we need to be. Well, we're not even that many days into this year, and I am already being proven right. Here's what's coming, folks, okay? Be prepared. We are walking our way right into a state versus federal conflict with us citizens in the middle, and I guess divided on those lines. That's what we're headed towards, and there will be clashes, we'll call them, okay? And there are going to be American citizens who are not going to comply. You weirdos that always said you wouldn't let the government tread on you are very happy, apparently, to let the government tread on you. So you're going to.
Yeah, here it comes. All right, real quick. You already know Isaiah 19. Isaiah 19 and 2. And it says, And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother. and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right? Whew, man. Real quick before we go back, just add some more. It's from the Epoch Times. Violent attacks fuel rapid growth at JS gun clubs. All right? So now, as it says, organizers say JS gun ownership has increased significantly at anti-you-know-what incidents rise in the United States. So now these tiny tots are going to be armed up, you know? And when they start, you know, shooting people, you know, they're going to be able to get off in the name of you know what. So everything is intensifying, man, you know?
Yes, but there are going to be people who will not allow that to happen to themselves or to their neighbors, and they will fight back. And apparently the state's National Guard of blue states are going to be there to protect their citizens. So this is what's coming. I just need you to prepare yourself for headlines and for video of this kind of thing, because it is going to be terrifying. I think we don't have any other choice at this point, though. I don't know what other way there is. So wrap your head around it now, make your peace with it now, make your plans, talk things out with your family that you live with. What do you do if they come to your door? What's the plan? You know, figure shit out, because I'm telling you that's what's coming.
This is it, guys. This is the tipping point. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I'm going to tell you how to prepare for the impending civil and world war. And I know that that sounds scary, and I'm not trying to fearmonger here, but please stay with me. Today, J.D. Vance went on record and publicly declared that that ICE officer who shot Renee Good has absolute immunity before an investigation is even complete, and they have all of the facts. So you know what else that means? That means he thinks he has immunity, and Trump has immunity. He just gave every member of ICE permission to unalive Americans. Let me repeat that. Our Vice President of the United States gave total immunity to ICE to off Americans. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, because it's in the power of their hand, right? Micah 2:1. And it reads, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds when the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. All right? They got the immunity. All right? Psalm 73. All right? Psalm 73 and 5, it says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men, right? He's not bound by his own laws. Okay? He establishes the laws, he can break the laws. All right? These devils got immunity. They can get off, right? Zechariah 11 and 5. Zechariah 11 and 5, whose possessors slay them. The possessors are the Edomites. Whose possessors slay them, Israel. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and Hispanics. And they gave ICE and these cops the immunity, man. Right? And whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. That's the immunity. Right? They're not in trouble as other men. All right? You really about to see the horns come out this devil's head, man. All right? A time of trouble like no other. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not.
This is state-sanctioned harm. The same shit that happened in 1930s and 1940s Germany. They are telling us that our lives come second to their authority. And here's the part that people might want to hear. If you are actually paying your taxes still, well, you can stop now. Because for the last year, they have taken away our rights, our benefits, our opportunity in the United States, and now they've actually taken away our protection. And our government is co-signing government agencies hunting us down and saying that it is okay. Meanwhile, they want to send $100,000 to each citizen in Greenland, while most of us can't even frickin' buy food. We are being destabilized internally while things are escalating with Russia, with China, with Venezuela, with Europe, and more. We have a target on our backs right now, and we're supposed to pretend like this is all normal? Hell no. This is how societies slide into civil conflict, with erosion, with fear, and with unchecked power. And so this is what I'm going to leave you with. We didn't call World War I and World War II those names when they were happening, okay? Let that sink in. 2, You need to stop paying your taxes, and you need to keep cash on hand, and you need to have things that you can barter. 3, I hate to say it, but you need to be prepared in your homes, and you need to know how to protect yourself. So take that for what it's worth. I know that this feels heavy. It is. But if we have learned anything from history, it is that power without accountability always turns on the people. And it is time that we stand up.
What I'm about to say is probably going to sound crazy. It is going to make me a radical, and that's fine with me. I don't give a shit anymore. We are at the start of the American Civil War. I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again. We're not voting our way out of this. If we make it to the midterm elections, that shit is not going to count. Your vote is not going to matter because they've already told us that 2024 election was manipulated. That vote was rigged. Okay? Elon Musk said it. Donald Trump said it. Voting is not going to matter anymore. Okay? These content creators that are lying to you and telling you just to vote in the midterms, stop listening to them. All they're doing is giving you anxiety and stressing you the out and leading you down the naive path. All right? What you're going to do instead right now is go buy 4, go buy 10. I don't give a learn how to some shit in your backyard. If it is safe to do so, go to the gun range, go get training. I'm sure there are liberal and democratic whatever influencers or people around you that will train you on how to use a firearm. Okay?
Woo, man. Right? 2 Ezra 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another in swords in their hands. It's coming. All right? These Edomites that see what's going on, you know, America first, all right? They see that the tiny tops actually run the show. All right. They see that Trump is for the tiny hats. All right. The politicians and whatnot are bought and paid for. It's about to go down. Okay. For there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right. These Edomites, all right, these American Edomites, these America First Edomites are ready to take the country back. All right, people are waking up. A man should desire to go into a city and should not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. It's going to be a terrible, absolutely terrible time, man. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread for great tribulation, right? And I want to show this real quick, too, before we go back to the video, all right? Because this is pretty heavy as well. Because guess who's getting recruited, or who's a part of ICE, right?
Yep, it's true. ICE is recruiting ex-IDF soldiers out of Tel Aviv. There's the information. I got it directly from the government website. This is not a screenshot from a social media post. So it is true. It is true. We have Israelis telling us how we should live. That bothers me, and it should bother you as well. Oh, also, side note, Israel was nice enough to give the Department of Homeland Security software they can use to spy on us. So they can literally see everything that we say and do. They can literally see everything we do. They hear everything we say. That's where we're at. America first, my fucking left nut.
You see? You know? This is heavy, man. All right? Let's go back. A lot of information coming out, man. This is the end.
This is what it's going to take. It's literally going to be.
Let that pass. Bear with me.
A group of people using their First Amendment right, pushing back at an army. A firecracker, a rogue person, a trigger-happy agent's ultimately going to set off the storm, and you need to be prepared. Again, food, water, ways to cook things, non-perishable items, ways to defend yourself, If you're not into pew-pews, maybe get some of that sweet spray that they like to blast at everybody. It's available online. It's just, I do want to point out that this is a situation that could stop everything. Everything. Gas station, grocery stores, everything you need to get through daily life. You might have a bunch of people that are unwilling to go to work or afraid to go to work. And you're going to have a lot of people that are not going to go to work because they're not going to take this shit anymore. The upside to that is that same infrastructure that we rely on, this little army also relies on. Air traffic controllers, rental car companies, all of these things that they need to exist, they also use. They're not just crippling us, we're crippling them. Just be prepared.
Yeah. As we read, this whole thing, as you were saying, could get shut down. As we read in 2 Ezra 15, all right, where it talked about verse 18 or verse 17, a man should desire to go into the city, should not be able, because at that point, chaos, destruction, martial law. All right, you're not going to be able to travel freely, man. Airports shut down, highways, roads shut down. You know, because it says, for because of their pride, the city should be troubled, houses should be destroyed, and men should be afraid, right? Because it's going to be so much going on in various cities that they're just going to have to shut everything down. So this definitely could turn America upside down, man, as we know it. Let's play a little bit more, right?
I'm telling you, this is a Boston MAS situation where it's going to take one event, and that we've already been pushed to the brink, but this is going to end up as a mass pew-pewing that takes out a lot of innocent people's lives, because these people won't stand down and they think they can control everything, and that's fine. That's apparent that that's where this administration is at, and people need to prepare accordingly.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're recruiting. They got tiny tops up in ice. That's really about to start getting off. All right. So this thing is gonna go down in epic proportions, man. As I said. All right. Brace for the impact. Right. This is Micah 3:25 NLT. Micah 3:24 NLT, it says, a kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. And that's the goal. All right. To collapse this current system so they can roll out the new one. It says, similarly, a family splintered by feuding will fall apart. Verse 26. And if Satan is divided and fights against himself, how can he stand? He would never survive, right? So these Edomites, we're watching the internal implosion of Babylon happen right in front of us, man. And these people are ready to lose their damn minds, man. Here's another point. All right, you can read the title on your own. All right, let's play a little bit of that before we wrap it up. Okay, people are ready to crash out.
Hey, so look, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't really care about the consequences anymore. I don't care. We need to kill these people. There's just an alternative. I don't care if you say, oh, I've got the crazy eyes, whatever. Yeah, I do feel crazy because we've had 3 people die in 72 hours, and we've had over almost 30 die in the last year, to a group of quote unquote law enforcement that is basically just buffed up mall cops, right? Who are gun triggering happy Proud Boys. Let's call them what they are. It's the Proud Boys. Why do you think we didn't hear about them? Any of you heard about the Proud Boys all year? Suddenly no more Nazi marches? None of that shit? Right. There we go. They're Nazis. Peyton said it best. They're Nazis. And the only way to stop this shit, let's be honest, is going to be to get violent. We got to get violent, people. And I'm tired of denying it, and I'm tired of y'all being pussies about it. Grow up! We're not going to get through this holding hands. Peaceful protest only works if your enemy has a moral obligation to listen to it. They have none! You guys are sitting there holding up fucking signs and saying, oh, I'm mad at you. You're pathetic! Burn something!
There you go. Crash out mode. All right? 2 Ezra 5:1. And it reads, it says, nevertheless, as the coming tokens, the tokens go back to the signs.
This is a sign of yeast growth. This is a sign of yeast growth. This is a sign.
Salakia. Lord willing, I got paused. All right. Salakia, let's read that again. All right. Yeah, 2 Ezra 5:1. Nevertheless, as the coming tokens, the signs, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number. It's going to be a lot of death, man. And the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith, because it's going to be so horrible, man. People are going to lack faith. It's going to be so much death and chaos, confusion. People are not just going to give up the faith. It says, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or thou hast heard long ago. All right, it's about to get worse. Sin and iniquity, violence is going to increase. And the land that thou seest now to have root, shall thou see wasted suddenly. All right, and that's what's getting ready to happen to America, man. It's about to get wasted suddenly. This is what people are preparing for. This is the spirit. Okay, civil war, civil unrest. All right, shootouts. Conflicts with the ICE and all of that, man. Great turmoil. Okay?
I'm just going to keep repeating this every few days until people realize how dire this situation could be. I mean, this could be a point where cell phone towers are shut down, electrical grids are shut down to try to stop any continued dissidence from people, like people just pushing back. It's you just have to understand where we are. We've seen this play out in other countries. We're watching it play out in a different one right now. That somehow now we support the people that you guys were talking shit about, how they couldn't get into our society and learn our ways. The it's the
stop using
these goddamn commercials, boy. All right.
Not lost on me, but people need to be prepared.
Things are about to get considerably worse in America. And if you are an American, I would highly recommend you watch this, and if not, good luck. We are on the brink of civil war. And I believe personally that we have been in civil war for the last 10 years, and it's a slow process. When you look at history, they like to teach you that things are linear, right? Oh, we have a civil rights movement, we struggle a bit, and then everything comes out fine. And that's the furthest thing from the truth, because if you're a real one, it takes years. It takes years. It's grueling. Peaceful protest is very seldom effective. And there are still states within the country that uphold Jim Crow laws, right? And we might not hear about it, but these things still happen. So I want you to consider this. You are not taught history in the way that it actually occurs. And that is purposeful, because you need to see that our peaceful protest is not working. We have been divided for the last 10 years as a nation. And think of it like this. You have things that are swept under the rug so much, and we're standing on this pile of atrocities that has happened within our history. And I believe that there will be a catalyst that will pop everything off, because people are going to be so annoyed and rightfully fed up with the injustices, and they will not take any more. And I truly believe that the execution of Keith Porter and Renee Nicole Good are going to be up at the top of that catalyst. Because what's alarming to me is that people are too slowly realizing what's happening. I have been very alarmed ever since people were expressing anger when people are peacefully protesting, because that is a constitutional right. It has always been alarming to me that people are angry about protecting the Constitution, because now what we're seeing with the death of Renee Nicole Good is that people are defending ICE, and ICE has gotten, the man who carried out that execution, has gotten a presidential pardon and immunity. And that is against the Constitution. And there is a precedent that this will be followed through with other ICE agents. You should be beyond worried, because the Constitution is not being upheld. And if that means that they can get away with it, you best believe that they are going to keep pushing the limits.
Yeah. So how much more, all right, you got these tiny tops that's in ICE. When they start, getting off on people, how much worse you think this is going to get? Okay? You got tiny tops up in ice that's gonna start letting loose. All right? They're gonna escalate this shit. It's about to go. Okay? The writing is on the wall. Ezekiel 7:25. Ezekiel 7:25. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there should be none. Ain't no peace coming, ain't no nothing, man. Only violence. All right? Clashing in the streets. Okay?
We're in no man's land. We're in the wild, wild west right now because we have a farce right now, that we are law-abiding citizens and that we uphold the Constitution and that we can uphold the president to constitutional law. But that is a very thin veil that is being pulled back right now because what they're doing is they're gauging your reaction and your ability to put your foot down. Right, so here's where civil war comes in. I believe in the next 4 to maybe 20 years, the federal government is going to declare that there is a civil war. Because I believe that there has been one going on through culture, through beliefs, through ideologies. They're already been divvying up sides, right? Because look at the...
Yeah, so you can watch the rest of that. That's the point, all right? Violence is escalating all over the world. It's the time we in, right? Civil unrest at the doorstep, man. All right. See what else we got here. Yeah. So that's the point. We'll leave it there. All right. It's getting ready to go down. What else can we say? Shalom.